This is the Peckerwood Junction boys and girls backing me up. Doc Davis and Denise Marsoun. I've got a couple of things to say historically. The Berry brothers who kicked us off tonight. I grew up with the Berry brothers. Actually, I grew up a little bit ahead of them, but they were the youngest children in the Berry family. They had a brother and sister older who was more like my age, but I knew them growing up, but wasn't quite as close to them maybe as I was to Gene and Barbara Ann. But I want to say that it's unusual when somebody like Roger can pick out a fiddle tune on a guitar, you know, and that was something. You know, that was an unusual thing that we witnessed there. Really special. And for somebody Donnie's age to sing a song like a Jimmy Rogers song, I know where he got that. You know, his daddy probably sang it. Right. His daddy was Ernest Berry, and he was influenced by Jimmy Rogers. You know, so I grew up very close to these Berry brothers, and they've always been great musicians, and they learned it probably most of it from their daddy, who could go up and down that neck just about as good as Roger can. And you know, it was wonderful to see them here, and I thank Roger for arranging to have them on our program. They're like family to me. You know, I mean, I think we grew up thinking we were blood kin. I want to say also that some of you know that I just celebrated a significant birthday. Has anyone not heard about me celebrating a significant birthday? Raise your hand if you don't know what I'm talking about. Some of the people of this community arranged a birthday party for me recently, just last week, after celebrating the big 8-0. And one of the things I want to say is this guitar was made in the same year I was. This is an 80-year-old guitar. And I spent 3 years looking for a guitar that was born the same year I was. I was interested in doing that because I read somewhere where Mark Twain had a guitar that was born the same year he was. And I didn't even know at the time Mark Twain had played the guitar. I read most of his books, but wasn't aware he played the guitar. So I thought, that's a neat idea, you know, have a guitar that was born the same where you were. So I subscribed to a magazine called Vintage Guitar and started looking, and the only reason I subscribed to it was to find a guitar made in 1934. As early in 1934 as possible, because I was born in January. And in all the 3 years of that subscription, something was always wrong with it. I found some that were supposedly 1934 models, but when I would check into it, either something was wrong or they refused to give me information I needed to be sure. So I never bought anything through the Vintage Guitar magazine. But a friend of mine, who's a dealer in Mount Juliet, Tennessee, had been sending me his list of instruments every month that he had for sale. And after we moved back here, and I'd started looking for it when we lived over in Plano. And when I moved back here, I got one of the catalogs, the little mimeographed catalogs from my friend in Mount Juliet, and there was a 1934 Martin 017, made out of mahogany. Of course, if it had been a spruce top, I couldn't have afforded it. I would have had to have got a bank loan or sold my house or something like that. But with an all mahogany guitar, I could afford it. And that's the story in this 017, early 1934 guitar. And it and I are this month celebrating our 80th birthday. So join with me as the Peckerwood Junction boys and girls and I do 2 or 3 songs for you. Doc is on the washtub bass, Denise is on the spoons. There's a light shining bright in the cabin, in a window it's shining for me, and I know that my mother is praying for the boy she is longing to see. When it's lamplighting time in the valley, then in dreams I go back to my home. I can see that old lamp in the window, it'll guide me wherever I roam. Each night I can see her as she rocks in her chair to and fro. Oh, she prays that I'll come back to see her, still I know I never can go. When it's lamplighting time in the valley, then in dreams I go back to my home. I've sinned against my home and love, and now I must never more roam. Adios, she lights up the lamp and sits waiting, for she knows not the crime I have done. So I'll change all my ways and I'll meet her up in heaven, life's race is run. When it's lamplighting time in the valley, then in dreams I go back to my home. I can see that old lamp in the window, it'll guide me wherever I roam. It'll guide me wherever I roam. Well, I do a little Jimmy Rogers too every now and then. All the Jimmy Rogers songs have a yokel. Donnie held back on us tonight. He didn't yokel, but still a great version of the song. I'm going to do a song that is a cowboy song technically, but I'm a lay speaker in the Methodist Church and occasionally get to be in the pulpit and do a little excuse for preaching when the pastor's out or something like that. You know, they trust me every now and then to do that. And I have preached on the subject at various times of living water. And most of you know that Jesus had a lot to say about living water. Remember the woman at the well, the Samaritan woman at the well in chapter 4 of the Gospel of John. And there was a time later on in John when Jesus is teaching, and he talks about living water again there. And he talks about actually living water basically coming from Him and that sort of thing. And the song that I'm going to do, to me, has always exemplified that concept better than any so-called gospel song, I guess, that I've ever been able to come up with. Maybe there is one that I don't know about, but I'm going to do that song tonight. And I'm thinking of it in terms of its sacred significance as well. All day I faced a barren waste without the taste of water. Water. Old Ann and I, with throats burned dry, and souls that cry for water. Ooh, water. Nights are cool and I'm cool. Each star's a pool of water. Shadows sway and seem to say, tonight we pray for water. And with the dawn we'll wake and yawn and carry on to water. Keep her moving and don't you listen to him, and he's a devil now. And he spread the burning sand with water. Water. Then can you see that big green tree where the water's running free and it's waiting there for you and me? Water. Ooh, clear water. Oh, Dad and I, with thirst gone dry, souls can cry for water. With the dawn we're breaking young, carry on to water. Ooh, yeah, water.
I think you need some cool, clear water when it's got through that golden wall, no?
Amen, brother. I'm winding up with the song that I did at my birthday party, and I dedicate it to everyone in the building. I love those dear hearts and gentle people who live in my hometown, because those dear hearts and gentle people will never ever let you down. They read the good book from Friday to Monday, that's how the weekend goes. I've got a dream house, I'll build there one day, with picket fence and rambling road. I feel so welcome each time I return. My happy heart keeps laughing like a clown, because those dear hearts and gentle people will never ever let you down. I love those dear hearts and gentle people who shout a friendly hi build there one day with picket fence and rambling road. I feel so welcome each time I return. My happy heart keeps laughing like a clown, because those dear hearts and gentle people will never ever, never ever let you down.
Thank you.
And he was raised like president.
Okay, the Pine Street Bluegrass Band is going to be making their way up here. And we got Mike following them. I wanted